pay you is his discretion, and this is the paradox of life. In that same place below you have a cash. Normally companies don't maintain it as cash, they should not maintain it as cash. We call this as cash equivalents. Because if you keep money just as cash, it's stupid, sir. So what they do is, even for short term, right? Even for short term, what they do is they invest, not in stock markets. They keep their money in mutual funds, in liquid funds. We'll talk about it. We'll definitely talk about it. But please note, this is exactly where I use a blue pen and say the most liquid of current assets. It was just see the paradox of life. Here you have, can I put this as BCA? BCA stands for most dangerous of current assets. Thank you for smiling. So here is a paradox of life. Here itself you have two categories. Thank you. Here is the good son. Here is the guy who is going to create trouble for you. Let's finish this off. Raw material paid in cash will not come into calculations because that's an expense that will come in profit and loss. We will see that post lunch. We will see that, in fact, before post lunch, thanks to your cooperation, we will see that before post lunch. Hello? Let's finish this. Let's finish this. What do you think is greater? Also, current liability means raw material is lying in my godown, but I am going to pay Mr. Kapil after 3 months. Who is financing that raw materials? Mr. Kapil is financing that raw materials. Liability is a source of funds. Current liability is source of funds for a short period of time. Thank you very much. Payables is nothing but, that's it. So what is working capital? Working capital is nothing but, take all those assets, Mr. Sanjay, minus the liability. So that is also known as net current assets, which is also known as, see the word net, Mr. Mani, the word net is nothing but after subtracting. Word net current asset only indicates working capital. So what do you have in a balance sheet, Mr. Yashpal? On a balance sheet you will have fixed assets. Then this is the entire description. Then they will put another subheading here, net current assets. Register, what does the word, I'm sure you know, sir, but, right? What does the word net indicate, sir?
In total.
In totality, after removing the effect of liabilities. This both put together, this fixed assets, here we go, this is working capital. This both put together is known as tangible assets. It is known as tangible. What is tangible? Tangible is something which you can see, touch, feel. Tangible assets. So tangible assets, Mr. Sanjay, is of two parts. What are the two parts of tangible assets? Fixed assets and working capital. Now comes the paradox. For every such tangible assets, it's all over. Today, we have also something known as, so here we are. So this is net current assets. These are all fixed assets. One heading is this, fixed assets. Second heading is net current assets. Third heading is intangibles. Excuse me, what will come into intangibles is, again I am going to put it right here. What is going to come in intangibles is, let's see, intangible, what will come is goodwill. What will come into intangible is goodwill. What will come into intangible is brand. What will come into intangibles? You can keep adding, and I'll finish with this, is IPR.
What about skill and knowledge?
We'll talk about this. Just give me a minute. IPR stands for Intellectual Property Rights. Why is this? Very good question, sir. Will be taken, sir. Mr. Mani, Kapil, dear friend. Just give me 2 minutes. Why they are known as intangibles? Because unlike a chair and table, damn it, unlike a chair and table, which you can touch, feel, see, goodwill. So Sunil, you are saying Kirloskar has so much of goodwill in the market.
Goodwill quantity.
Coming from you, respected senior, I am sure it is true, but I have a problem. The problem is I am not able to see. That is where we call it as intangibles. Dear friends, please know. So you have 3 categories of assets: fixed assets, working capital, intangibles. Out of this, the toughest part to value is intangibles, which is where you have got a very important topic to our which is known as financial shenanigans. What is financial shenanigans? What does it mean? Financial shenanigan basically means, what does it mean is what you would ask me. A financial shenanigan basically means manipulations. Shenanigan basically means manipulations. Financial shenanigan basically means what? Let's face it means manipulation. Manipulations. People will manipulate. Where is the maximum manipulation happening?
Subjective, wherever it is subjective.
Superb, Mr. Manina. Absolutely, sir. And where is it maximum subjective in these 3 categories? Can you please tell me how you have valued these intangibles? Maximum shenanigans is a term. We call this as window dressing. Basically, it means manipulations. Window dressing. What you have to realize, which is very, very important, dear friends, very, very important, is the company is trying to show 3 types of assets. Balance sheet is 3 types of assets. Fixed assets, working capital, third is intangibles. What should finally happen is the liability side should be equal to assets. And the moment that happens, you say your balance sheet has an. But there is a link now, which I will establish through profit and loss statement. This balance sheet is linked to the profit and loss statement. How? I'll show it to you in 2 minutes when I start the profit and loss statement. One last time, balance sheet indicates solvency. Balance sheet of a company as on a particular date, it's a static statement. 3 principles. Principle number 1, imagine the company to be an artificial person. Second, liability is source of funds, asset is application of funds. And then we demystify, we work together on liabilities and assets. I have given you the various assets. Now I need to show you how you are going to link the profit and loss statement, which you will only answer. What I am going to do now is, I am going to rub this part of, so now here we go. So now let's look at profit and loss statement. So here we are, profit and loss statement. For XYZ, from to. So what it technically means is from this period to this period. Superb. Period of time, Sunil sir, we call it as dynamic statement. Balance sheet was a snapshot picture. Balance sheet was stuck. This is going to capture, I'll use your words, for a period of time, from this date to this date. This is for you, Mr. Kapil. If you find a company, now I'll keep picking up the course, sir. If company changing the period of use repeatedly. First time he uses 1st Jan to 31st December. Then suddenly he changes to 1st April to 30th end March. It can be a sign of financial shenanigans. I am not saying it is. It can be. It is our job as an analyst to go and ask, Sunil sir, you changed the period of accounting. Can you justify why? Achha, this is the reason. Okay, good. But see, whether the reason is justifiable or no is a question which comes later. First thing is you should know what to ask. I call it as a red flag. What is a red flag? Red flag matlab kya Ashwani? Sir, red flag means a flag which is coming in, which is saying something could be wrong. First sign is change of accounting period. Now taking this course to a higher level, change of accounting period. I'll give you at least 5 financial shenanigans since some of you are interested. So here you go. First, but then we need to cover the basics also. So we start with profit and loss. First thing in profit and loss statement is, please be comfortable, sir. Right? If you want to speak in Hindi, finance is logic, is income. What is this composition of income? Income going up by 40% does not look very healthy because income is of 2 types. One is core income. Thank you, Mr. Rajesh. And other is, and the second one is, don't remember it as sale of real estate. That's wrong. Sale of real estate for Bombay Dyeing is other income. But sale of real estate for DLF is core income. So how do you do it? Simplest rule. You should see whether it is recurring income or one-time income. So if it is recurring income, normally it is core income. But for this esteemed seniors, I would tell you, there is another way of looking at it. The way I do it, recurring is the easiest way of looking at it. Is you should go through the company's financial charter. What's a financial charter? A financial charter will basically define why the company is incorporated. What is its line of business? So a financial charter consists of 2 things. A financial charter consists of MOA, Memorandum of Association, and AOA, Articles of Association. A financial charter will consist of MOA and AOA. MOA stands for Memorandum of Association and AOA, Articles of Association. Core income is clearly defined in the MOA and AOA. Before I take Mr. Kapil's query, if you are finding it too difficult, if you don't know where the MOA, AOA is, okay, then use a thumb rule. Recurring income is core income, non-recurring income, one-time income is other income. Before I request the young colleague to ask me a question, excuse me, one more jargon. Your value driver should be core income. What is a value driver? A value driver is where the company derives its value from. Income, you should try and identify the value drivers. Great. So let's get to expenses. So income, core income, other income, less expenses. So let's start with expenses. Who's going to help me around with this? So let's say what would be the first expense? Production expenses. Of which you are right, salaries would be a part. So what will go into production expenses?
Raw materials.
So raw materials. Let's include sir's point. I will not put it as salaries, I will put it as wages. Overheads. Utilities. Utilities, you will have steam, boiler. All this will come under electricity, will come under utilities. Why do you need this? Because you can write, they are obviously right. Straight on, because you can identify the cost drivers. Why do you need a breakup? So that you can control better, you can budget better. Excuse electricity expenses have 60 to 70% of the production costs.
No.
Then already you do strategic cost management and you say remove 5 people. Then I think thank you, you have a small problem. Then you need to go back and say, excuse me Mr. Mani, you are into ferroalloys. Sir, I think we need to look at the production expenses, specifically production expenses, power costs. There can you work on it? It will lead to substantial saving. Did we say IT? Oh, then wages is extremely important. Salaries is extremely important. Did we say my profession? Investment banking, salaries is important. Did we say cement? Raw material is important. Did you say sugar? Raw material is important. So why have a breakup? A breakup is necessary because you can identify cost drivers. The best example for cost driver comes when I discuss a case. The case is Karthik Alloys. It is an SME, small and medium enterprise. Name of the person is Mr. B. Gopala. I'm sure he's not even an MBA, but he understands these cost drivers fantastic. And let's use it logically. Let me share an experience with you here. How did he use this? Very logical way he used it. So very simple what Mr. Gopala did. Mr. Gopala served for about 25-30 years with VBC Ferroalloys. It's a Hyderabad based company, VBC Ferroalloys, Hyderabad based company. Now Mr. Gopala decided once and for all, let me leave this employment and let me start my own, right? So he decided he will start and he'll get into ferroalloys. Now please note that he is the best person, Mr. Mishra, to understand when to start marketing as well. So he had a flavor, Mr. Sunil of the market. He came to SBI Caps, alright, for funding. I was one of the officers who handled that case. Guess what? Mr. Gopala starts by saying he is going to locate his plant in Goa. And I'm like, Goa? Of all places, Goa? Does not make sense, Mr. Gopal. He comes back and says, please note, all his competitors are in Hyderabad. He says, Mr. Menon, you need to realize one thing. Why am I going to Goa? Best example of cost driver. Right? First is Goa those days perfect, Mr. Sanjay. Goa those days used to be declared as a backward area. Why was Goa declared a backward area? Goa was declared as a backward area for only one thing. The government then wanted to promote industrialization there. So what the government said is 5-year tax holiday. I said, Mr. Gopal, this is good. I didn't know that. He said, no, there's one more reason. I said, what is that one more reason? I get a lot of excise duty exemption. So one is central tax holiday, second is state subsidy. And there's a third reason. I said, what is the third reason? The killer of them all. The Goa state government, to encourage industrialization, had given a 50% power subsidy. Ferroalloys, 70% of the production cost comes from power. Hello, here is a guy who understood cost drivers so very well. He said, let me go there. I am getting a 50% off here. So if my competitor is paying 3 rupees per unit, I will pay only 1 rupee 50 paise per unit. And can I now give you the icing on the cake? The icing on the cake is, when all other regions of India were plagued with power shortages, Goa was a power surplus region. No textbooks will tell us this. But this is the power of logic. This is the power of logical application of finance. I'm a non-MBA. I learned my lesson that way.
80-20 ratio.
He got this perfect, sir, absolutely. What did he realize? He realized I need to go and base in a region where I can use my cost driver very well. Can I finish by telling you normal ferroalloys, break even is 3 years. Break even is no profit, no loss. Mr. Gopal, broke even, Mr. Mani, in the first year. Please note one thing. I have colleagues, I'm not going to call you non-finance colleagues, I'm going to call you managers. Know your value driver, know your cost drivers, production expenses. The next expense that comes is, right, production expenses. Next expense that comes is, please note, S&D expenses. Mr. Mani, S&D stands for? S&D stands for selling and distribution. S&D stands for selling and distribution.
We call this administrative expenses.
That will also, but it's a good answer. Administrative will come, I'll put it here for you. Administrative expenses. It's a good answer, nothing wrong. Administrative expenses.
Corporate expenses. So they do with the corporate.
Yeah, absolutely. This expense you will tell. And from that income, you remove all these expenses, you will come to a jargon which is known as EBITDA.